This is Madrid's side tonight. They bring back Luka Modric and Eduardo Camavinga and leave out Ceballos and Asensio. Most of this team, even Toni Kroos, have never won the Copa del Rey. So modest have Real been in this competition. Karim Benzema has scored in both the Clásicos this season. And 18-year-old Alvaro Rodriguez, who hit the headlines at the weekend with that equaliser in the Madrid derby, he's on the bench for Real Madrid tonight. Might see him later on. Referee Munuera Montero. And of course the VAR team are waiting in case there are any debating points and controversies. There have been one or two over the years between these two clubs. Barcelona are perhaps crucially without the injured top scorer Robert Lewandowski, as well as Pedri and Dembele tonight. Xavi's changed the entire defence after the defeat at Almeria, with Araujo, Koundé, Alonso and Balde forming the new back line. Torres will play as the number 9, with Rafinha returning on the right-hand side. Carlo Ancelotti, who delivered the last Copa del Rey that Real Madrid won back in 2014. They haven't been in the final since then.
No, they haven't, and it's been strange, but it's a trophy that is probably bottom of their list of trophies that they want to win. But now they're here, now they're in a semi-final. Why not go and try and take it?
Underway with Real Madrid, of course, in their famous all-white, and Barcelona's equally famous stripes. Another pristine surface at the Bernabeu, and it is taking shape now, the new look stadium. Some talk in the build-up of Real Madrid sensing blood, and they've got an early opportunity to maybe do something here, which is not taken. Barcelona's defence caught out. The flag, I think, went up, didn't it?
It did go up here, and it went up very late. You see Luka Modric's run, it's very tight. If anything, he's onside. The left-back Balde's playing him onside. So VAR would have had a look if it ended up in the back of the net, but Koundé does well, actually. He's not blessed now with a lot of pace, Luka Modric. And Koundé just ushered him wide, just to...
Real Madrid as well, just to tidy up the casualty ward bulletin. Modric won the ball. He's Valverde.
It's a nice ball, isn't it? Lovely play.
To Vinicius. He's got a chance to run at them. Very anxious to keep him off his right foot, cutting inside, aren't they? Did that take a deflection?
No. It's a strange one, actually, once he got there. He cuts inside and then goes left again, and that movement was nice. Dropped his shoulder, and then he's one-on-one with Araujo. Sends Freddie de Jong one way. Then that was disappointing.
Here's de Jong. Exactly the ball Kessie wanted, but he's made something of it. United given away again. Real Madrid. Valverde, Modric, lovely touch from him. Vinicius, Benzema, big chance and goal! Brilliantly taken. Flag is up, I think, though, on the far side. Benzema offside, but what a beautiful piece of finishing that would have been had the goal counted.
This will be interesting, this. You see, oh yeah, he is offside. He's a good yard offside, actually. He doesn't need to do that, Benzema, as well. He's looking right across the line. He can see Busquets and he can see Araujo. It was easy for the linesman. Lovely finish. This is Ian, isn't it? When Barcelona clear the lines, they haven't got Lewandowski, they haven't got a traditional number 9 to be strong and hold the ball up and be clever. So it's coming back all the time.
Benzema. Chance to shoot, looking to bend one. Bounced off Koundé, will go behind for a corner kick. Can they do that, or will Real Madrid deal a huge blow to them here tonight? Kroos with the corner kick. Quite good to Eder Militao, and then Modric's shot was blocked. I think it's a sign, isn't it, the way this is being contested by Barcelona, that just at the moment they do have their backs to the wall. They've got an opportunity with Kessie getting in here, and it's a goal! It was Messi, but it's gone. But that, by the look of it, is going to be chalked off as well.
I don't know whether Kessie was offside, Ian. I think it was Rafinha, he was way offside. Let's have a look here. That's a poor ball. Kessie's onside.
Yeah.
Rafinha was way offside, wasn't he?
And Rafinha doesn't get involved,
at all with it. So
that'll be go through for the fine-tooth comb treatment from the VAR. Rafinha was the player who looked to be offside, unless Kessie was just off.
Yeah, it was very close. We need to slow it down and have a look at it. We haven't had that chance yet, but it was incredibly tight.
Well, it's a dramatic moment here in the game. Have Barcelona got themselves in front? It's going to take a little bit of unravelling, I think.
It's a huge mistake from Camavinga. I think they may have seen it on the big screen. That's what Kessie seems to say. Goal.
Goal. They've given it. Rafinha wasn't interfering at all, and Barcelona get themselves in front here against the run of play. Mistake by Camavinga, and Barcelona cash in now. Instead of defending parity, they're defending a lead.
Yeah, brilliant for Barcelona. Kept the crowd quiet, and they've punished Madrid. Lovely ball by Torres, very tight, as you can clearly see. He looked onside, gets a bit of fortune. Courtois saves it. It's actually off Militao and into the back of the net. It'll be an own goal.
It's a right old miss. Kessie's shot,
yeah,
good save.
Off Militao,
and then
Nacho
as well. So
it actually might be Nacho's own goal.
Well, none of them will want it, but I think that'll probably go down to Eder Militao, won't it?
Yeah, I think so.
But it was Kessie's.
In nice shape when they've lost the ball.
Are they going to carry on this remarkable record they have in this stadium in Copa del Rey ties? Benzema looking for a 1-2. Just got caught under his feet, otherwise he might have tried the shot, as it is Valverde. And at the second attempt, Koundé can hack it away.
Koundé smashes it into Frank Kessie. They don't need to kick the ball out. To hit him in the midriff, they don't need to kick it out at all.
And they're not going to either. Modric looking to chip the goalkeeper. Well, Barcelona players are protesting.
No, it was his own man cleared it into him, and you don't have to kick it out at all. It's not dangerous. See here, Koundé just smashes it right into his midriff. The fact that he falls over and goes down.
There's the goal again. You can see no offside confirmed, and Rafinha, who would have been, didn't get involved in it. So fair and square goal, and it'll go down, I think, as own goal. Eder Militao, although it did touch Nacho on the way. Take your pick there.
Yeah.
Once again, Vinicius, and once again up against Ronald Araujo.
Look how many people in the box though, Ian, in a white shirt. Benzema's come out. There's only Modric and Fede Valverde on the periphery.
Kroos's ball, Carvajal. It was a chance. It wasn't an easy one, but it was a chance.
It was a good chance, Ian. It was a really good chance. Thankfully for Barcelona, it's the right back. Good run, good pick out by Kroos. Just opens his foot up. I don't know what he was doing in the end. You can see the ball from a long way off, so he doesn't have to keep on running. He can slow down if he wants.
Vinicius gets it again. Nacho. Stegen, he's good with those punches. Valverde.
Yeah, he's a really good goalkeeper, isn't he? Very experienced. Really good punch. I don't know whether this was a shot by Fede Valverde, the way he hits it.
I think it was, wasn't it?
But there's certainly no bend on it for it to nobody come wide at all and threaten that area, is there? Fede Valverde is very much centrally in the pitch. You can't expect Danny Carvajal to do two jobs as a right winger and a right midfielder.
Valverde, some danger. Vinicius Junior arriving. It took a deflection. Could have bubbled up anywhere. It's gone behind. Look at the Real Madrid fans behind that goal, trying to almost suck the ball in.
Araujo did really well, actually. Gets his body across to block the shot. Really good, and with plenty of numbers back as well. That's what they've done really well tonight.
Camavinga trying to invent something with a short back lift on the left foot.
Never threatening, was it? Never threatening.
Valverde. Modric tried the shot. Alonso got the block.
Yeah, it was never handball, was it? I don't know whether the Real Madrid fans or the players wanted it, but can't be handball from there. Just smashed at him from a yard.
And he hasn't made himself bigger or anything like that either. So the kind of player they're going to build the team of the future around. You would think Barcelona have got a chance here to, as they come forward. And Gavi got his head to it, but not to much avail.
As it has, the star men missing. A really good performance this evening.
And they will have him back, of course, for the second leg. De Jong to spread it wide. Fatty's waiting through the middle for a delivery here. It's pulled back to Kessie. Wonderful chance.
Hits Fatty.
It hit Fatty on the way. Was it going in?
I think it was, Ian, yeah. He just placed it into...
Hard count is mounting.
Well, he just gives him a push, Ian. Misses the ball. It is a yellow card. And there's the chance. Ferran Torres runs at Camavinga. Just a little feint. Easily gets there, pulls it back on the plate. It was going in. Ansu Fati just cannot get out of the way of it. What a let-off for Madrid.
Well, that's almost freakish the way that happens, isn't it? It did look as if it was going to nestle in the corner. No wonder Kessie reacted like that to it. Yes.
There you go. Ter Stegen left foot over the top. Gets Barcelona out. Poor ball by Araujo. This might be better. He's out of position.
Up against Koundé this time, Vinicius. Got to be careful with a stray foot that might bring him down. Vinicius here. Bit of danger. Modric's shot. Charge down. And then Eder Militao trying to atone for his inadvertent own goal at the other end.
Just off his shoulder, wasn't it? On top of his arm. He's not getting penalty for that.
So the games they've got coming up, return game with Liverpool on March the 15th. Rodrigo wants to shoot, does shoot. Well, that's as close as Real Madrid have been.
Yeah, threatening Ter Stegen, but always fading wide. Just trying to whip it round. You see, Ter Stegen was across, always following the ball as Rodrigo ran across the pitch.
It's good effort.
This will be the best angle.
But
look how many Barcelona shirts are back behind the ball. Oh, that's been the story of the night.
Benzema. Rudiger.
Has to go in the box, surely.
That's exactly what they're trying to do. It's good defending again by Marcos Alonso. Rudiger tries to flick one in there with a cross. Rudiger once more. Attempted overhead kick, and the header is wide of the post. A last gasp effort there from Alvaro Rodriguez to try to put his name in lights again.
And it's a corner, Ian, and that's why Barcelona are going crazy on the touchline. That's okay, because Araujo's playing them on side. It's this one. Did it come off the defender?
And still it goes on as well. 96.5 minutes. This surely the last chance for Real Madrid.
Yeah, they're looking at something, VAR. It's fine, carry on.
Oh, sure, Maney had a headed opportunity there. No, he wants to check something else by the look of it here. The official in consultation with the video assistant referee.
Yeah, it's fine, end of the game.
That's it, it's the final whistle after all that, amid all of the confusion. And Barcelona, what a win for them. Real Madrid's unbeaten home record this season has gone.